Do you know him, or simply do you know about him? Do you know how to quote a scripture, or do you know how to be the scripture? Do you know how to find the fault in somebody else when they don't live up to the scripture? Or are you willing to find the fault in yourself when you don't?
It's the difference between hearing and listening.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're like, did you hear me? I heard you, but are you listening? When you're disconnected from God, you find yourself doing things and it doesn't bother you at all. You don't even break a sweat. You know, before, if you cuss somebody out, you'll feel bad about it. Now you'll cuss them out and don't even feel upset and be ready to cuss them out again.
Do you really know him, or do you know about him? And I think more people probably know about him. Just because you can quote him don't mean you know him. Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About It. This is your boy, Ed.
And I'm your girl, LaMeka.
And we are here to talk about it once again. And today we got a subject that I think might get into all of our shine, nah, and nah. You know what I'm saying? This subject is really knowing about God versus knowing God. I think that we can translate to our relationships with people, because there are some people we know, and then some people we know about them. And I think that goes with God too. A lot of times, do we know God, or do we simply know about God? Do we know a lot of things about him, or do we truly know him? And so I'd love for you to start us off, LaMeka, just really talking to us about really the difference between knowing facts about somebody versus actually knowing them. And how does really that translate to our relationship with God?
I think the main difference between knowing facts about somebody and actually knowing somebody comes down to relationship. You know, how much time you spend with that person, intimate time, meaning like intimate, deep, detailed conversations, uncovering things about them. So I think that's the main difference. And one example about that comes to my mind is, I call it the peanut butter cup example. Back when I was in corporate America, me and one of my coworkers were in a training class. And it was a coworker that I felt I knew pretty well because I knew a lot of facts about this person. And so the trainer had us do this exercise called the grocery list. And in the exercise, it was saying, the trainer said, if you went to the store for this particular person and you had to pick out these items, could you do it? And do you feel confident enough that you'll be able to go to the store and pick these items out and you'll get it all right? And I felt like I knew this person pretty well. So I was like, oh yeah, I got it. It was something about like, okay, what would you get them to drink? You know, snacks, candy, different things. And so I knew this person loved peanut butter cups because I've seen them eating peanut butter cups all the time. I knew they love Pepsi and peanuts and a bunch of different things. So I was confident when we went into this exercise. And so I'm answering all the questions and I'm writing it down. And so then the trainer started to say, all right, so you think you know this person pretty well? Yes. Okay, so if you're going to pick up their favorite drink, okay, yeah, I can get a Pepsi. Okay, what size Pepsi do they want? The bottle or 2 liter? How many Pepsis do they want? Okay, you're going to pick out their favorite candy? Peanut butter cups. Yes. Peanut butter cups. Okay. Do they like the little individual wrapped peanut butter cups, the king size, the 2? How many peanut butter cups would they like? And, you know, the more they started, I was like, okay, well, maybe I don't know this person good enough at all. You know, I came in here fully confident, like, this is my boy. We work together every day. I know these facts and I'm good. And then, yeah, poked holes in the theory. And I'm like, okay, maybe not. It kind of like the same thing with celebrities. Your favorite celebrity, you look them up, you know, their favorite color, their favorite food, when they were born. You know, Wikipedia has a whole long list of facts. You know, their parents' names, how many siblings they have, if they have children. Wikipedia tell you if they've been married, divorced, how many times, their spouses, all of these things. But you may know all of these facts about these celebrities, but you don't really know them. You ain't never hung out with them. You don't know how they act when they truly upset. You know the actor, so you know how they act on TV in that favorite movie, but you don't truly know them. And I think that translates to our relationship with God, because we have a great book of facts about God called the Bible. You can pull it up on your phone. I look at this all the time. You have physical Bibles. You can pull it up however, and it lists all these facts about God. So you can know all of these things about God. But if you never really truly spend time with him, you don't get to know his heart. You don't really know what moves him. You don't have that relationship with him. So then when you do something that doesn't fall in line with his plan for your life, you don't feel that what's the word I'm trying to you don't feel that, have that reverence and respect and that fear, that true fear of God, knowing that, okay, and people say, well, you can't really disappoint him because he knows all things. However, you can, his heart can be, like the heart. Do you really know the heart of God? Have you really did kind of disappoint him, because even though he knew you were going to mess up, he was still hoping for you to win. He was still hoping for you to do the right thing. So I can know all of the facts in the Bible about God, but if I don't spend time with him, getting to know him intimately, I can know that he liked peanut butter cups, but I don't know if he likes them individually wrapped or the king size and how many Pepsis he wants.
Mm-hmm. See, here's the interesting thing. You said this big word, and I think we use this word a lot in Christendom.
Okay.
And it's this word relationship. Mm-hmm. We use it a lot, and we'll say, it ain't about religion, it's relationship. And like, that's like people's themes. I'm sure somebody done made a t-shirt somewhere. Maybe I need to make a t-shirt. I'm sure it's 1,500 t-shirts out there that say, it ain't about religion, it's about relationship. The word relationship really suggests a deeper understanding, a deeper knowing than what you can read about. And you said it too. The word relationship starts talking about it. When I think of the word, let me put it this way. When I think of the word relationship, I know what hurts you. Mm-hmm. I know what lifts you. And in my subsequent action, because I know what hurts you, I know what lifts you, then I will act accordingly. If we have a good relationship,
yeah, my
posture is to be in a position to uplift you. My posture is in a position to comply. Jesus said, if you love me, keep my commandments. Mm-hmm. And so love is a relational word. And so if you love me, keep my commandments. If you love me, abide by this. If you love me, follow this. Relationship says, a good relationship says, I'm putting myself in position that I know it hurts you, and I'll stay away from the things that I know that hurts you. And then I will move towards the things that really lifts you, that makes you smile. That's what I'm looking for. What makes them smile? Mm-hmm. Not just arbitrary facts. And I think what does God love? The question comes down to, what does God love? What does God hate? And are you living a life that makes him smile? Do you know him, or simply do you know about him? Do you know how to quote a scripture, or do you know how to be the scripture? Do you know how to find the fault in somebody else when they don't live up to the scripture, or are you willing to find the fault in yourself when you don't? These are all questions that we have to ultimately ask ourselves. What is knowing about God? A lot of people know about him from what have you done for me lately? But do you really know him? Do you really, even with your peanut butter cup story, you knew a lot of things about your coworker. But the intimate details, because you could have bought the peanut butter cup, but they like the small ones because they can get 4 or 5 of them at a time instead of one big one. Mm-hmm. But you'd have bought the big one. They would have been thankful, but it may not have made them smile. It may have given them a half smile because at least you knew a peanut butter cup. Mm-hmm. But if you'd have bought them little ones, it's that relationship is relational and relational and things require, what do I do? How do I live? How do I interact? Who am I with this person? Am I in a space that I want to make them smile? Because you can be in a bad relationship. Everything I will do, I want to hurt you.
Wow.
In a bad relationship. I'm just saying. And so ultimately, as we think about relationship, what does disconnect kind of look like? What does it look like when you're disconnected? What does it look like when our relationship with God has switched from switched over to more about information versus being relational?
So what does a disconnect look like?
Yeah, what does a disconnect look like?
Oh, so I think a disconnect looks like you can do things that are out of line with God's will and feel no remorse.
See, that's relation. Go ahead.
Yeah. So you're disconnected, and when you were in a good space with him, you can do something and you'll feel that conviction. And it's like, no, I that wasn't God's best for me. That didn't make God smile. And you'll course correct it. You'll quickly correct it and get back on track. But when you're disconnected from God, you find yourself doing things and it doesn't bother you at all. You don't even break a sweat. Before, if you cuss somebody out, you'll feel bad about it. Now you'll cuss them out and don't even feel upset and be ready to cuss them out again. It's that no remorse.
Yeah, that's interesting because there are lots of us. I ain't gonna put myself in this one. There are lots of people who know the scripture, who know what's right, and like you said, still cuss them out. Like, I'm gonna jump back again. I know I kind of moved us on, but I'm gonna jump back for a second because the Bible actually tells us in 1 John 4, it actually tells us God is love, and he who loves knows God. It tells us in 1 John 4 that loving and actually walking in love is evidence of knowing God, because God is love. So now I'm walking heart to heart with God. You know what makes God smile? When you walk like him, because he is love. And when I incorporate love into my life, when I incorporate love into how I treat you or how I treat my wife or how I treat my children or how I treat other people, when I incorporate love, I'm incorporating God. And my love walk is evidence of my relationship with God, because the Bible tells me I know him when I actually walk in love. And so part of the disconnect that we have is when, like you said, when I don't walk in love and I don't care that I didn't.
Yes, that part.
When I don't walk in love, when I still know the scriptures, when I still know that God tells me to forgive and I don't forgive. When I still know the scriptures that God tells me to love and I don't love. When I still know the scriptures of what love looks like in my life, and I can know the scriptures and I can quote the scriptures and I can say, God, I can know God or know who God is. I can know about God, but I don't know him. It's like there are people like who read the word for the purpose to try to poke holes in the word, to try to poke holes in your faith, holes in your relationship with God.
Get you to question and doubt.
To get you to question. They didn't read to get to know God. They know him. They read to know about him so that they can find something wrong with him, so they can find something wrong with you, so they can pull you out of your relationship with God. You see, are you reading the word so that you can get to know him? So that you can know how to move, how he operates, and how to operate like him in the earth? Or are you just getting to know? Are you reading it to check a box? Are you reading it just so that you can poke holes? Are you reading it to know about him, but really knowing him is actually implementing what you read?
Yeah. It's the difference between hearing and listening. They're like, did you hear me? I heard you, but are you listening? Because you can hear what somebody says, but you listen and you take it in and you act up on that, you use it, you take it, you know what I mean? You hold it. I heard you, but in one ear, not the other. But listen, it pauses, you ponders on it. It's the same thing. I know some information about you, but do you really know him?
And here's the thing that I really want us, sometimes pain can try to pull us apart from God. Sometimes we have these expectations. Okay, I go to church. Okay, I gave. Okay, okay, I'm walking in love. And there's sometimes this expectation that disappointment won't happen. There's this expectation that I won't ever feel pain. That's when you get to heaven. that we have this expectation, and too many people have gone from knowing God to knowing about God because they let their pain. You let your pain separate you from knowing God, because you thought knowing him meant you would be pain free. Right. You thought knowing him meant that everything was always going to work out exactly how you wanted it to work out, exactly how you thought it should be, to whatever you wanted. And as soon as it didn't happen how you thought, we thought that, maybe I don't want to know God anymore because knowing him hurts.
Yeah, or you just get mad. You get mad at him and now you distance yourself. We treat God like we treat people. So somebody let you down or disappoint you, and then y'all was once besties. Y'all was real tight, and they did something, and now you distance yourself from it, and you still know of them, and y'all might, okay, but instead of it being that we hanging out like, hey girl, that's my, now it's like, hey, and I see you when I see you. God does something or doesn't do something the way you think he should, because he has infinite wisdom. His plan is above ours. And our little minds, we feel like we know more than him sometimes. But he'll do something that we don't necessarily agree with, and now we want to cold shoulder God and act like, I don't need to, you don't want to pray no more, you don't want to go to church, you don't want to listen to worship music, every now and then you want to say a few words, acknowledge him sometimes, and you get upset. And so now you went from knowing and having an intimate relationship with him to just knowing about him, because you still know some facts, you still know some things from that time, but you haven't hung out with him and spent time with him in a while.
Yeah, it's like, I'm hurt. I know who you are, but I don't want to know you anymore. And just like with your friends, I know you, but I don't want to know you like that no more, but I know who you are. And here's the thing, LaMeka, this is such, I'll say it like this. This is such an important subject because our eternity kind of leans on this. Your eternal judgment kind of rests a lot about, do you know God? And does God know you?
Right, because he gonna say what? Depart from me. Am I jumping ahead?
No, you go ahead.
He gonna say,
you right on line.
Right, depart from me. I never knew you. And he didn't say that to people that was just out in the world doing whatever. It was the people that was like, I cast out demons in your name. I did this. I did that. So it's going to be doing. I went to church every Sunday. I sang on the praise and worship team. I gave to, I went and I served in the kitchen. I served the food to the homeless. We had clothing drives. I had a big church with thousands of people. He going to say, yeah, but you didn't know me. You did all of that stuff, and you knew about me. You knew who I was, but you ain't spend no time with me.
I need y'all to understand something. Everything she just said. I never knew you. 1 John 4 tells us to love is to know God. But when God said in 1 Corinthians, it tells me you are known of God when you walk in love. There's a space that you are known of him when you walk in love. Now, here's the problem. Here's what I think you got to understand. We get this false sense of security, and we get a false sense of spiritual maturity by the things we do. But there's going to be a lot of things you're going to get before God, and you're going to list all your stuff. Because in Matthew 7:21 through 23, which LaMeka referenced, he's going to say, people were saying, I prophesied in your name. I cast out demons in your name. And I did many wonderful works in your name. These were busy people doing kingdom things that he said, I never knew you. Why did he not know them? Because their why was wrong. we get into a habit where we're doing a lot of what's. Well, I came and sang on the praise team. Well, I did this. I sing in the choir. I do these things, but why do you do what you do? That's going to be that tipping point. Or do you know God or you just know about him? Because if your why is wrong, if your why is not out of love, if your why is not to see somebody else benefit, that's unconditional, that wants to give person charity and compassion and to see somebody put in a better space, if that's not your why, everything that you do is for nothing. Right. If I had it in front of me, I would read you. I'm not going to read it to you, but 1 Corinthians, read 1 Corinthians. You can pull it up. 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Verses 1 through 3. When you think about your why, because the things that we do start creating this false sense of comfort, this false sense of I got it all together because of the things I do. Now I got my reader.
Wow, he said the reader. Okay. Okay, you said 1 Corinthians 13, 1 through 3? Mm-hmm. Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels and have not charity. This is the King James Version. This is the right version?
Go King James.
And have not charity. I am become as a sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith so that I can remove mountains and have not charity, I am nothing. And although I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned and have not charity, it profited me nothing. Charity is love, y'all. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You want me to keep going? Mm-mm. Okay.
If I do all of that stuff, if I'm burned as a martyr, if I die as a martyr and I ain't do it for the right reason, it means nothing.
You're just gonna still burn.
If I gave everything, if I sold everything I had and gave it to the poor and I did it for the wrong why, if I didn't do it out of love, it means nothing. I never knew you because you can do the right thing for the wrong reasons for only so long. Mm-hmm. And that's when we get into this performance Christianity. Mm-hmm. When we start doing the right thing for the wrong reason.
Yeah. Your why. And then another thing too, because some of us actually think we're doing the right thing because we think because we have a lot of knowledge. We know a lot of facts. We can quote all the scriptures. We can say all and we're doing the right things. We think that that's knowing him. And a lot of times we substitute ministry acts for a relationship with God.
You got to say that.
And I remember a little while ago, God had to remind me, ministry preparation is not a substitute for a true relationship with me.
Yeah.
And so we can get into those spaces where we're so busy doing ministry and doing work. And I'm reading the Bible to prep for a message, but I didn't read it to spend some intimate time with him so he can talk with me. I'm listening to worship music to learn the song, to sing it on a Sunday or a Saturday evening in our case, but not because I'm spending that time in worship with God. You know, people sometimes, it's so easy for it to get convoluted and us to get confused. So maybe your why isn't wrong. Maybe you've just lost your way and you're somewhere along the path of, I'm doing all of these things and that has to be it. And doing things is not a substitute for developing a relationship. You can have a spouse and you can do all of the things for that spouse. You can have children and you can do all of the things for those children. But if you don't spend time with them, you're not developing that relationship. And that's why we get so many spouses and parents. So marriages are breaking up because it's like, well, I provided, I did all of this. Yeah, but we ain't go on no date nights and we didn't hang out and we didn't watch movies. We used to spend time together. Or you have children who grow up and they resent their parents and their parents is clueless because I bought you everything. Every pair of shoes you wanted, I got it. You had this, you had the nice this and all of this. And I did all, I provided everything. Every time you asked me for it, I gave it to you. Yeah, but you ain't spend time with me. Mm-hmm. And it's not about the things that you're doing. It's about the relationship, the quality time.
You are the greatest gift that you can ever give to your children, to your spouse, to the people that you say you love. You are the greatest gift. Not the things you do, not the things you buy. The greatest gift I think I preach the same message every Christmas. and the same message every Christmas is about you are the gift. There's nothing at the store that's more valuable than your smile, your wisdom, and your time.
Yeah, your presence.
And your presence. Your presence, not the presents that you buy at the store, but your presence is the greatest gift that you could ever give. And the question that we really got for ourselves and really got for you is, if all your church activities and all your routines and all your Christian habits were taken away from you, what would actually remain of your relationship with God? If I wasn't just prepping for sermons or getting ready to go serve because we got a thing that we got an event, or if I wasn't if all of my Christian habits, if all my activities, if all my routines were stripped away from me, what would your relationship with God be like? And how do you then move from performing Christianity to actually experiencing it? And
That's for me.
Oh, I can go. You can go however you want to rock.
Mine is quick and easy.
Oh, go ahead.
I was
go
like,
ahead.
am I answering you asking it? I wasn't sure if it was rhetorical. No, I'm just. But so if all of that was removed, what I will have left is worship. And the second part was.
That was the second one. How can someone move from performing Christianity to
And how can you
experiencing?
move? So if everything was removed, the only thing I would have left was worship. And then how do you move from performing to actual relationship? Worship. So worship for both. So if all of that was taken away, I still have worship. I am a worshiper. I still worship God. I still tell him of how great he is. I still sing his praises. I can still worship. And that's how I think that's one of the ways. So prayer, getting in that quiet time, that alone time, but then also worship. In worship, you're in the presence of God. And when you're in his presence, he make himself known to you in different ways. His presence has been my way out of so many different things. When I'm having those vulnerable moments, getting in his presence strengthens me and helps me to stand strong. When temptation tries to come, his presence, worshiping his presence helps me to stay the course. So I think worship is what I'll have left as everything else was gone. And then for us to move from performing is to worship. Because when you truly understand who God is and when you're in his presence and you know him, you know who he is, the other stuff don't even matter. You'll have the right why. Because can't nobody give you anything that's going to equate to or measure up to what God can do and who he is.
Yeah, I think you said it so greatly and perfectly in that last sentence. What's your right why? Because a lot of times when we're performing Christianity, what we're actually doing is looking from some feedback from people. We're looking for you're such a great this, and so thank you this. Sometimes that helps build our own personal ego for people to tell us how great we are. Yeah. And so we can start performing and our why can change. I don't ever want you to miss the why. That's what it really means to know God. When my why is love, that's what it really means to start knowing God, because my why is love. The things that make God happy make me happy. And the things that hurt God hurt me. And when I'm performing, I don't have that same sensitivity.
Because you're results driven.
I'm results driven.
Versus love driven.
Yeah, that's good. Being results driven says results driven is what do they think about me? How will they receive me? Love driven is what is God saying? How does God see me? And a lot of times results driven Christianity is really dangerous, because when we don't get the results we want, our relationship with God, we talked about it a little earlier, starts to get fractured. When we don't get the results we want, we pull back from what God has called us to do because, hey, obviously it must not have been God. Obviously this isn't what, we want. Obviously this isn't the right thing for me to be doing. I just wasted my time because only 3 people showed up. You don't know what in those 3 people and how those 3 people can impact the world with the time that you spent with them.
Yeah.
And so I want us to understand that we got to move from performance Christianity, because that depends on what people say, and move to love, a love-based space, because that's more concerned about what God is saying. And so as we start to land the plane, what's some practical habits that help us build this kind of intimacy rather than just accumulating more knowledge about God? What's some practical things that we can help and share to help build an intimacy with Him? A love intimacy, a love relationship with God.
Spend time with Him. Make time for Him. Like intentionally set aside time to spend with God. Intentionally set aside time to worship and to pray. We have to be intentional about it because our schedules can fill up so quickly with so many things, doing all of the stuff. Ministry, can fill up your schedules and you can be so busy. You still have to make time. So I would say be intentional about making time for prayer and worship and quiet time with God. That's one of the main things.
Yeah, I agree with you. That intentionality, that the quiet time, the prayer time, and the worship time is personal time, not ministry time. It's for your personal enrichment. It's for your personal relationship, not for some ministry duty that you have. It's for your personal enrichment, your personal relationship, not because I'm trying to get something and I done back myself into a corner that only God can help me out of. So now I want to read my word, and now I want to pray, and now I want to worship, and now I want to sing, and now I want to go to church, and now I want to volunteer because I'm looking for God to do something for me. How about we do that because we want to? How about we do that because we want to have a love relationship with God? And when we have that love relationship with God, that when we don't have it, we just accumulate knowledge.
Yeah.
When we do have that love relationship, it's connecting us at our heart. Anything else you got?
No, that was my main thing.
That was good. So as always, we cover a subject like this because we want you to be healed, whole, and unbothered. And knowing about God can present a false image of healing, a false image of being healed. But in reality, knowing God and having your why being right is a real space of healing. Because when my why is right, which is serving other people, which is serving and being who God's called me to be, that's a healed space. That's a whole space. But when I'm looking to get filled because I'm missing something, when I'm looking for somebody to tell me how great I am, when I'm looking for somebody to shower me with compliments for some act or ministry act that I'm doing, then I'm not healed.
Right.
I'm not whole. And I get real bothered when it don't happen.
Exactly.
And so we'd love to hear your comments. We'd love to hear where you are with this. If you need prayer about this, you can click the link in the notes. And there's a space for prayer. We can also, you can also join our community. There's a community, and if you look in the notes, you can see a space where you can find some other people in the conversation nation that's here that really have questions and have answers, because it's not just about what me and LaMeka knows. It's about all the people around you that have wisdom, insight, and knowledge that God has put into your path to help you along the way. And so leave a comment, subscribe, share this with somebody else. I think it'll be a real blessing and benefit, because in the end, I don't want anybody who watches this to hear, "Depart from me, I never knew you." I want him to say, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." To see more stuff from us, you'll be able to see that now.